Hey, MMT followers, Christina Fuges with MoldMaking Technology back for part two of this special MMT chat. Today, we'll dive deeper into exactly what a fractional CFO is and how you can hire one to help you overcome the complexities of financial management. Today, my three guests return. They are from a small family owned shop in Romeo, Michigan, Tom Barr, president of TK Molds and Engineering. We have Grady Cope from a mid-sized operation in Englewood, Colorado, is the president and CEO of Reata Engineering and Machine Works. And last but not least, we have Troy Roberts, who was with Beanstalk Collaborative Community Wealth in Denver, Colorado, and who also represents the American Mold Builders Association as a current board member. Let's dive into part two. In part two, so one of you take me through the process of actually deciding to bring a fractional CFO into the company.
How I found out about fractional CFOs was through my bank because they saw me struggling to provide all the information, uh, coming back asking for more, dealing with underwriters, people that are behind the scenes in the bank that you have no idea what they're looking for, but you're scrambling. So my relationship banker uh, recommended this Michigan CFO in my case, and so that's how I met him. And I met with the owner of Michigan CFO. They do a business analysis, and there's a small fee associated with that, where they come in and they see if they're a fit for what TK did or does. And so they would come in, they do a business evaluation, and then once they do that, they come back and they go over it with you and show where they can help, or what direction we might want to head and that kind of thing. And then we decide, do you want to, in my case, it's fractional. So do I want them once a month, once every 2 weeks,
Hmm.
or every week? So that's kind of how it started and evolved for TK Mold. So
All right, Grady, how did you come across it?
Yeah. So for me, Reata, like I said earlier, Reata was struggling in a financial kind of downturn, and I really need to focus on operations and sales. And I knew that I needed help on the financial side. So um, we had a firm that was doing our audits, and I really liked some of their insight. And I said, "Boy, I'd really rather work with you guys from a different way." So we had finished the last year's audit, so they weren't going to do the audit anymore. So I could hire. They offered a fractional. It was Clifton Larson Allen, and they offered a fractional CFO program, and so I went into that. And you know, Tom came on board. Got a meeting. He started looking at things and just knew right away that cash flow was what we needed to focus on to keep us afloat for the next probably 9 or 10 months. And he would come in and work with our bookkeeper and all morning, and then that afternoon he would sit down with me and he would tell me whether it was a good day to sit down or whether I needed to pour myself a double scotch to sit down and talk that day. And we developed a great relationship. I had I had great faith and belief in what he was doing, and I trusted him uh, like he was my partner, and which he now is. So that can show you how strong of a relationship you can grow.
Was there any hesitation? Like, were there things initially about bringing this person in? And what were they? And then as the relationship built, did they go
Sure,
away? How did they go away?
sure. The hardest part was, could I afford him?
Of
Could I afford this fee? And the answer is yes, you can afford it because of what that person's going to do for you is going to be incredible. And to this day, he's the highest paid person in the company, even above me, and he's worth every dollar that I pay for.
Tom, did you have what were your some hesitations or concerns when this all started?
I didn't have it. I don't have
Nope.
it. I don't. No, I knew I needed help, so I that was easy. It was
And
pretty.
I'm assuming moving to full time was easy too?
I No, mine's still
Oh,
fractional.
yours is still fractional. Okay.
Yeah, once a week Dennis comes
Oh
in.
yeah,
So,
great. Okay.
so mine was not easy. What happened was it was December, and we had another meeting with the bank, and it was okay, but it wasn't great. We still had work to do. We knew we had contracts starting in January that were going to be better. But after the meeting with the bank, Tom said, "Hey, can you and I go to lunch?" And I said, "Sure."
Hmm.
And we went and sat down for lunch. And he said, "I want to come to work for you full time." I just laughed at him, and I said, "Nobody knows the books better than you. I'm not even sure I can afford you." And he says, "No, no." He says, "I'm comfortable with your books. I think we're going to," he says, "I know we're going to do better, and you can afford me." And that was the beginning of the relationship. I can tell you that Clifton Larson Allen didn't want to lose him, but they did. I mean, he was, and that was, I think, 6 years ago, 7 years ago,
Oh, wow.
and it's been really good. It's been a great relationship, and and Reata's grown a lot because of it. So
So that, yeah, that what you just said there, that's pretty powerful. And just in terms of that's the biggest misconception, right? Is people are going to be thinking they can't afford it. And it's really you can't afford not to afford it, or whatever, however you say
Yeah.
that,
well,
right?
well, the reality is because of the type of business that fractional CFOs or CFOs are in, um, if they don't have the ability to show you how you can afford them, they're probably not the right choice for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that
that's a
and
good
plus
one
too,
too.
yeah, and on that too, Grady, like I said, Michigan CFO, they have templates already made up, so they come in, they're not wasting any time. I mean, it's just a matter of pulling data, plugging them in their models, and it's fast. It happens fast, and he's on board day one. It's not like you got to get 6 months honeymoon and he figures things out, he or she, and it's they have a fractional CFO that's been doing it for a while, has their all the tools in their toolbox, and they know what to go after and what to look for. So
Okay, okay, that's what I should start off too. So when we're talking about when I'm asking about how you found your fractional CFO, we need to reiterate that timeline because it's not just cost you rate, it's time. Like how long is this going to take? I like that. There's no honeymoon phase. And will you agree with that too, Grady? Like it was just like from day one?
Absolutely, and that's what's so good about it is as most people that are in the fractional CFO industry or want to be a CFO in the small business world, they understand the makeup of entrepreneurs or small business owners or family owned businesses. So they immediately understand all the difficulties that go into that for that person and for the person that's the fractional CFO. So they've already got a predefined approach of how they're going to work through issues that they know you're going to be uncomfortable with. And that's what's amazing about it is they come in and it's almost as much as they educate you enough that you accept them, knowing that the changes they're making, you're going to trust and understand. They're not taking you down any path that you shouldn't be going down. But you, so they don't only come in and do the work, but they educate the owner along the way, or the management team along the way, so they understand. What do these numbers really mean, and why did they change from where they were, and why did you move this number up up above, why is this part of cost of goods sold where I had it down here? And so because of they work in a standards industry, they know where the standard should go. And so now your financials all start looking the same as industry standards. And you're able to compare yourself. And of course, then the bank likes that even more.
A CFO they are a valued member. They're the glue that holds it together. They help put the systems in place and that are governed by standards, as Grady says, so that wherever you're going outside of your business, be it to a bank, be it to your tax CPA that's trying to manage your tax liability, to regulatory, other type of regulatory agencies, insurance. Tom was talking about how do you understand and put together what is the right level of insurance, because this is big money, as we all know, that we pay for these things. So they're not an accountant. They may have a technical background that came from accounting, but they are a valued member of your team. And when I talk to these small business owners, that don't have this stuff. And I say, how do you do this? And they say, well, I run it by my gut. You know, I hear that a lot. I run it by my gut. And I say, well, you know, we're working in industries where we're working with such tight tolerances of what we're required to do with a customer. The mindset we have is on the engineering and operational side is of the highest degree of accuracy and highest caliber. And then you switch over to this other part and you're saying, I run it with my gut.
Yeah. If you had to give advice to somebody that's listening and is interested in doing this, what should they look for in one? And what are the warning signs? I guess positive and negative. Don't get fooled by this, or what should they look for? Let's talk through that.
Yeah. So I think when you're looking for a fractional CFO, you should, and when you're talking to them, you're vetting them, you should make sure they have a manufacturing background, that they've been in the business of manufacturing for a while. Like, for example, Dennis, every customer, so I'm one of probably 6 customers that he has on a monthly basis. And everybody in that group, as I understand it, are all in manufacturing. So but they're not all in mold making, but it's in some form of manufacturing. So if I was to go out and look for one, definitely has to have a manufacturing mindset / background.
How about you, Grady?
For me, the interesting part about Tom is, though he's been a CPA all his life, he diverted and left being a CPA for a while because he decided that he wanted to go to cooking school. So he went to French cooking school and he opened a restaurant. So he was a business owner as well. And believe it or not, I think a restaurant is about as close to having a manufacturing company, especially on the margins side. I mean, it's a very high production environment, where you're delivering product within minutes of people ordering. And so for him to have that experience, and for him, when you're talking to somebody, you have to, is this somebody I can trust? Is this somebody I believe in? Are they able to explain it to me so I understand it? If they're just a really analytical CPA, maybe that's great if you're just an analytical person and you understand it. But I want something to go along. I want to be able to say, that's great for your terminology, but now we need to explain it to me so I know how I can make it work on the shop floor. How are we going to do that? So you need that type of thing. And I would also say, for me, the most important thing was to make sure they weren't like me. And he's not. He can tell me no, and I can listen to him and say, okay, I agree. And he can be I can be the nice guy and he can be the hard guy. I mean, to be able to do that, it plays off of each other. And then, for me to, sometimes he can come and say, we need to be uncomfortable about this. And then I can say, no, we don't. And I can change his mind because I have knowledge of what I think will happen, or how we're going to change it to make it work. And so it becomes a true partnership.
Okay, so now we have the AMBA that can help them navigate this, right? So do you want to talk a little bit about how can organizations like the American Mold Builders Association help people better understand the importance of financial management services?
So when I joined the board of the AMBA, and if you look at, let's say, the prototypical member of AMBA, it's probably $4 to $6 million in sales. A lot of them with 20 people or less, or at least 30 people or less. And these are traditionally organizations that, as they've come into being and they've grown, again, and you don't know what you don't know, they have never thought of bringing in a fractional CFO because they don't even know what a CFO is, what a CFO does. So what we've done at AMBA with bringing things like Tom and Gray together, we've had Michigan CFO come on and explain what their services are or the services of a fractional CFO. So we're doing a webinar series right now on financial literacy. The first one we did is, what is a fractional CFO and what can it do for your business? And then, how building budgets can help you really unlock your business and help it grow, because now you have a target to shoot for. The next one's going to be cash flow to eliminate surprises. Grady, that's how you got started with Tom. Bad economic environment. You had payment terms not equaling what your collection terms were. And the more your business grew, the bigger hole you got into with needing a line of credit. It's these kind of things. This is what a CFO does. They understand the standards of how things should be done. They're able to communicate those to individuals and gain their trust of the team, ownership, and the team together, because they see that this is a valued member of our team, and then you start to see results. And I'm sure both Tom and Grady can say the results of their business, pre-CFO, fractional CFO, and post-CFO, it looks like night and day. Would you all agree with that statement?
Yeah, I would, for sure.
Yes.
People that say, I want to run by my gut, or I can't afford this, I would say you cannot afford to have it. And, go to your trade association, wherever you belong to, but go to AMBA, get involved in that and see what it is that there are programs there that can help you understand, find, network, talk to peers so that you can say this is for real, but you can really unlock your business for growth and profitable growth. I don't care about growth. Profitable growth is the only growth worth having. And so they can help you do that.
Thank you, gentlemen. And for those watching, be sure to go back and check out part 1 of this MMT Chat series, The Hidden Obstacles Holding Your Business Back and You Don't Even Know It. That shares the personal stories of 2 small to mid-sized manufacturers who discovered how to unleash the hidden potential of their shops and pave the way for financial growth and long-term success. And for all things mold making, visit moldmakingtechnology.com. Stay informed and stay inspired.